Good afternoon, East Castle Place. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to this edition of State of the Castle for March. I do hope that here in April, we may be able to do this in front of a limited studio audience. But nonetheless, I have a few of the individuals with me today to give you an update regarding everything State of the Castle, a few submitted questions. Without further ado, I'm your host, Tyler, and of course, we'll go ahead and get started with Eric Peterson, our Director of Facilities. Take it away, Eric.
Thank you, Tom. First, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the question, and I'm going to give us an update on some of our construction going on. First one, the question I had was, why was the courtyard furniture taken away so early in the season, November 1st, when the weather was so nice outside again, and we afford to leave it around outside year-round? Normally, November 1st would be an appropriate time to bring it in. We were gifted some very nice weather in December last year. We probably could have left it out a little longer. I think we're just trying to stay ahead of it because we didn't know when it was going to turn so as quickly as the weather does here in Wisconsin. Typically, you want to bring the furniture in because it does like the corrode sitting out there in the snow with the salt and what have you. So I'd hate to see the furniture go back from sitting out year-round. So I think we'll continue to bring it in, but I'll try to leave it out as long as I can. If there's special requests, I think that's the easiest way, just getting a hold of us, and I'm sure I could take something on a special occasion if it gets warm enough on certain days. My next part was the update on construction. So we have Holton Brothers here doing the tuck pointing restoration on the historic building. We're through 1 week of it at this point. They're still working on the gazebo courtyard area, all the way over by the chimney. They have a small lift in here right now. They've been doing some of the actual, what would be considered caulking, and that's all the large pieces of stone that are butted together. Those do move ever so slightly, so there's a lot of caulk joints. It's got to stay flexible. I foresee them coming in this week with the larger lift to go to the top of the chimney and work their way down. And that's when they're going to get into a lot more grinding. They're going to be grinding out the border between the brick joints, replacing any spalled or broken bricks, and they'll be working their way down to the bottom, and then they'll wrap around the front of the hint addition. So that's probably the next 2 weeks worth, but they're going to be awfully busy out there, and then we'll try to control the dust and the traffic as best we're able to. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Eric. The next individual needs no introduction, but I will. It is Teresa Jenkins, and she has a somewhat simple question, maybe, that she can give you an update on. Teresa, take it away.
Good afternoon, East Castle Place residents. I will get right into my question. And my question is, could there be a nameplate for all the people who sit at the receptionist desk? I would like to know whom I'm speaking with. Well, currently, everyone that sits at the receptionist desk does have a nameplate. That nameplate is located in front of the receptionist, closer to the Bradford Terrace entrance walkway when you come up to the desk. If for some reason you walk around the desk where the sign-in kiosk is, you will see the nameplate. If for some reason you do not see that nameplate, please let me know so that I can make sure that the receptionists understand that their nameplate should be out on the desk. That's all I have for today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Teresa. The next individual as well does not need much introduction, but I will go to Laurel Lightfoot to provide an update regarding community life. And I too will go into some of those COVID-19 precautions. So again, Laura's working underneath some limited restrictions right now. But hopefully in the near future, we may be able to open it up. But in the meantime, Laura's going to give us an update on what is coming back to life in community life.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. So as Tyler mentioned, we're opening things up, which is very exciting. It's a period of renewal and rejuvenation as far as activities go at East Castle Place. So we're very excited for this time. I think we mentioned in our last trivia with Mike that Channel 955 will still be a part of East Castle Place. We're going to continue some of the programming, and it's just something that has now become our normal. So that, as well as many things that we're offering that we used to offer, and we're looking forward to the future. So, first of all, our first speaker of 2021 was Dale Snyder. We'd like to thank him for the Birds of Spring. His presentation was very well received, and we had 20 residents on Friday, and we had a nice group on Monday. So Dale, thank you so much for that. Residents have really enjoyed that, and coming into spring, it's just a perfect time to have your program. We are opening up to groups of 40 or more in the beginning of April, which is great. So that's really good news. The other good news I have, and Tyler will probably talk about this, is that mid-April, we're going to be able to open up to our speakers and entertainment. So that will be in groups of 40 or less. So game plan is, if we know it's a large crowd, we're going to expect a large crowd, we are planning on having 2 presentations, so the same presentation repeated. Same thing if it's going to be entertainment, where it's very popular and we expect 40 residents or less. Gallery spaces. So spaces for gathering. We have been looking at different areas of East Castle Place for small spaces for gathering. One of the spaces that we're looking at is the Yale lounges. Now those are the lounges that are between the historic building and water tower. There's some fake fireplaces that are there, but wonderful furniture and nice places for gathering. So I've been talking with the Community Life Committee. They came up with some great areas. I know that some of you actually know about our sun patios in Water Tower Assisted Living and are interested in those. So that's another space. So the Community Life Resident Committee is going to be producing a map of sorts of the different areas that you should know about gathering. Small gatherings, obviously, still masked and socially distanced, which is very important. So you can look forward to that. We're also looking at some gallery spaces for those of you who have enjoyed the lessons learned from COVID, that we're expanding different areas of East Castle Place that we're looking at. One of the places we're looking at we call now the Loft. The Loft is the area by Mike Griever's office. It's by the general store. It's that lovely area that overlooks the lobby. So that's another gathering space that we're looking at for some areas of gathering, and also some areas that residents can highlight some of their artwork. Our Community Life Committee is up and running. We're very excited for that. That's our resident committee. And you're going to see their names posted on the mailrooms and all the mailrooms at East Castle Place, because we have representatives from Bradford Terrace, Water Tower, Contemporary, and Historic Buildings. So anyways, hello to all of you on our Community Life Resident Committee. We had a great first meeting. So if you have any suggestions for entertainment, if you have any suggestions for guest speakers, or anything we could do as far as some new programming for East Castle Place, you can speak with those representatives, and they will bring it to our committee that meets once a month. And finally, a shout out to Mary Freilich and her great team in the Environmental Services Committee for planning our upcoming Earth Day, and it's actually our Earth Week. So you can watch for things that's in our mid-April time. You're going to watch for a lot of flyers in regards to that day, but also events that are going to be happening throughout the week. So obviously our resident newsletter will be highlighting some of those things. We're going to have events throughout East Castle Place that you can participate in. And again, we're just very excited for this, this really special Earth Week this year. So again, thanks to Marion for heading up our wonderful Environmental Services Committee. That's all I have for now. Again, you can always give me suggestions for different things that are coming up, and I just appreciate all of your support of the Community Life Department, so thank you. Back to Tyler.
All right, thank you, Laura. And now, introducing who again, little to no introduction, as he does the highly rated quick trivia with Mike. It is me, Mike Reaver, providing an announcement regarding a question he has, as well as a few other philanthropy updates. Mike, take it away.
Thank you, Tyler. I did get one question this week, but I'm going to begin with some of my updates. First, there have been a couple of things that we've been working on in philanthropy that I wanted to bring you up to date on. First of all, you learned at last month's State of the Council that we received our third car donation. This one turned out to be a 2004 Lexus RX 330. I'm pleased to say that the donation completed. The car was sold at auction for $4,800, and East Castle Place will receive a check for $3,600. For those of you that are keeping track of the three cars, we've received a 2004 Lexus, a 2004 Honda Civic, and a 2005, the newest car of the lot, Ford Focus. Those three cars combined sold for a little over $7,000 at auction and generated $5,421 to East Castle Place. So even older cars that you think may not have much of a useful life left have a useful purpose for us. And we thank the donors that work with us on that. And if any of you want more information about how that program works, let us know. Especially if you know someone who has had a car sitting in the basement for 2 years and it's thus far collected 2 years worth of dust. Or maybe a family member of yours isn't a member of the East Castle community, but is interested in donating a car. We can accept cars from anywhere, and they're picked up, sold at auction, and a check arrives. It's frankly that simple. And the donor gets a charitable contribution form from the IRS as a result of that, or for the IRS as a result of that. So thank you to our car donors. Second of all, I had a conversation this morning with Margaret Berg. Please watch your mailboxes. There will probably be a treasure chest meeting within the next week to 10 days, maybe something like that. We're having a little bit of trouble filling all the volunteer spots that we have, and we would really like to welcome some of the new members to the East Castle Place community. Maybe some people that have lived here a long time but never volunteered and are looking to. So watch your mailboxes. There will be a meeting within the next week to 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, to discuss this. And in the interim, of course, if you already know you would like to volunteer, and maybe you're a regular shopper so you know what it would entail, contact Margaret, maybe contact Carol Fritz, or even come and see me and I'll steer you in the proper direction. We'd love to get you worked into the rotation. It's a lot of fun, and believe me, you do a lot of good work. We've funded $24,000 in scholarships so far, and it's because of our donors to the treasure chest and those of you that volunteer. So please, if you're interested, let us know. At last month's meeting, we also talked about a brand new initiative in the philanthropy department, a community enrichment fund. We received some funds at the end of the calendar year 2000 that we can use for an unfunded greatest need, if you will, of East Castle Place. The first use of those funds was the camera that we're using to tape this program today. So, it has an opportunity to be of great value to East Castle for things that might typically get overlooked in the budget process. I mentioned last month that we're looking for 3 volunteers to work with us on a review committee to take a look at proposals that come in. We've had 2 volunteers that have stepped forward thus far. I'm looking for a third, and the sooner the better. We have 1 proposal that has already come forward. We also know of a second proposal that will be forthcoming shortly. So the work of the committee will probably begin soon, and this is an opportunity for you to take a look at what your neighbors view as important to East Castle Place and see if it's an appropriate use of some very limited funds. It also is an opportunity for you maybe to support East Castle Place by contributing to the Community Enrichment Fund. If that's of interest to you, know, once again, that East Castle Place is a nonprofit corporation and donations are tax deductible. Give me a ring if you're interested in finding out more about that. The last thing that I wanted to talk to you about regarding an update for East Castle Place before I answer the question, I've been working with a gentleman by the name of Stu Wilson over the last several weeks, maybe a month now. Stu Wilson is the son of a former board member of Milwaukee Protestant Home. Now, you know, Milwaukee Protestant Home became East Castle Place shortly after the turn of the century. Stu's mother was Jill Wilson. For those of you that are long time familiar with East Castle Place or Milwaukee Protestant Home, maybe you're a former board member. I know we have at least one living here now that's a former board member. We also have a resident living here right now who was active at that time. You may know Jill Wilson as, let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. She was noted in board minutes as Mrs. Richard D. Wilson. Jill was a board member in the late 80s or the early 90s. Jill was very, very gracious to remember us with what is called a charitable remainder trust. It was the Jill P. Wilson Charitable Remainder Trust. For those of you that knew Jill and were friends with Jill, I'm sorry to report to you that Jill passed away in December of 2020. But as a result of that, the Charitable Remainder Trust is dissolving now, and I've been working with Stu on dispersing the proceeds. Milwaukee Protestant Home, and now East Castle Place, is the beneficiary of that. And we've already received a check of $456,000 due to the generosity of Jill Wilson. We're expecting a much smaller check to arrive yet as the remainder trust is closed out. But as you can imagine, you know, when you hear me talk about raising $4,500 or $5,000 on cars that are donated, and then a check comes in for $456,000, that is a tremendous impact on East Castle Place. We are very, very grateful to Jill Wilson, to the entire Wilson family for their remembering East Castle Place and, of course, Milwaukee Protestant Home previously. Obviously, this is something that will have a dramatic impact on us. We're working with Stu right now to ensure that the desires of the family are met pertaining to the use of those funds, and we'll have more information as appropriate as time goes on. But that's the last thing that we've been working on, and I'm very pleased to be able to report that information to you. Now, last but not least, I was asked to explain the status of the sound system at East Castle Place and what benefit it will be to people with hearing deficiencies. And I have a couple of props with me that I'm going to go through. First of all, you all see me using this stick mic now. The microphones are functional. They work with the 12 speakers that are mounted throughout Lindsay Hall right now. I forgot one piece. One moment, please. In addition to the stick mics, and we have 2 of them, they are wireless. We also have a headset mic that can be used if we're having a program and we only have one speaker. One person speaking to you at that program. They're a little bit complicated to put on, but kind of like this. Takes a while to get used to it. If we mount it properly, you don't look as foolish as I do now. But we do have those available as well. For those of our guests and residents that have hearing issues here, there are little belt packs that we have here. The belt packs have 2 functions, one of which, for those of you that are merely have a little bit of a hearing loss, but you know, maybe not strong enough yet for a finely tuned hearing aid, this actually beams into the projection of the wireless microphones, and it comes into a hearing piece that loops over your ear. You'll be able to hear it much better. For those of you that have a more sophisticated, a more pronounced hearing loss and a more sophisticated process already to enhance your hearing abilities, there is another option that we have available. It's the same belt back, and a different piece goes into it. It is called a, well, I think this microphone just went out for some reason. Batteries tend to use up. So I'll project a little bit more, and we'll replace the microphone directly. This goes around your neck. If you have a T connection on your hearing aid, you just turn the T connection on. This will project directly into your hearing aids. So for those of you that have a hearing deficiency, this system should provide you a better ability to participate fully in everything that takes place in Lindsay Hall when we are using the amplified system. So if you have any other questions about this system, I encourage you to come and see me, or when you come down for a program, if you have questions, Laura, Scott, myself, as much as we can be, we're informed on how to use this, and we'll try to get you up and running. So that's all I have. If you have any questions on any of these issues, give me a call. Thank you. Let me get the other mic replaced. Batteries must have went out. Who knows?
Okay. Thank you, Mike, for that update, as it's much appreciated. All right, so that leaves me to provide a COVID-19 update, as well as just a few other final items. So for COVID-19, you all received a reopen guide. Visitors as well are in. The dining room is open. Hopefully you've had the opportunity to dine in. Again, reservations are required at this time because we do have some limited capacity in the dining room, as well as activities, as Laura mentioned. So again, we are dipping our toe in the pool, so to speak, not doing the cannonball all the way back in. We will continue to lift those guidelines throughout the upcoming weeks and months as we continue to move forward and show the progression that we are supposed to, in knowing that, again, no COVID-19 positive cases are currently at East Castle Place. We are filming this on March 22nd. The other piece of that is we are following along with the CDC as well as the LCS and state and local guidance from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. So between those three bodies, as well as what is happening here at East Castle Place, that is how we are determining kind of when we push and pull. And so again, COVID-19 is still around. It is not gone. Although 99% plus have received their vaccine here at the community level, unfortunately in Wisconsin, that statistic is not at 99%. I know we are trending in the right direction from a vaccination standpoint, and I'm very pleased with that. We need to continue to see that trend improve as far as those that have been vaccinated. So again, be on the lookout for those weekly updates on Thursday and Friday when those are coming out. The other individual that usually makes an appearance here on your State of the Castle is Lindsay Magoo. Lindsay, along with the Health Center team, are currently in their annual state survey. So Lindsay and the team, along with 4 surveyors, came to the community this morning. They'll be on site for approximately 4 days, reviewing everything related to the Health Center, including laundry, the kitchen, employees that work there, talking with residents, reviewing care, making sure documentation is up to date, checking our emergency plan, so on and so forth. So again, Lindsay and the team are prepared and working through that, although a bit of a more stressful time than normal. The team, I'm very confident in, and we should have good results. Along with that, obviously protocols are slightly different in the health center. We will keep you up to date on that regard as well. If you do have a loved one that is in the health center, again, look for Lindsay or Nicole or Ashley or Paige to provide further guidance. Of course, I'm available for you as well. If there's anything else regarding COVID-19 or any of the guidance that has been received that may be money for you, by all means, please just pick up the phone, send me an email, stop me in the hallway, and I'm happy to provide further guidance. One thing I do want to mention regarding COVID-19, these masks still must be worn. I know that CDC has come out and residents have said, well, I'm vaccinated, my neighbor's vaccinated, why do I have to keep wearing this mask? And again, we're taking every precaution possible. I really want to remain diligent in the vigilance of this. I do know that this has provided safety measures above and beyond vaccine. Although I know you're going out and about, and I encourage you to do so, especially with the beautiful weather and what's turning, I do want to remain vigilant. So you will see staff members, and I ask that you also maintain your mask in common areas. When you head to the dining room, obviously taking it off when you are dining, and then when you leave the dining room again. With that, Laura's giving me also a signal. Lindsay Hall will receive some new chairs this week, as long as the delivery man shows up, as we were told. So, hopefully by next week, as you're sitting down and exercise and things of that nature, you'll be sitting in some new chairs. If you remember, before the pandemic, a number of you sat down in a few chairs to test them out. We went with the majority there, and we're excited to give a refresh for Lindsay Hall. With that, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the State of the Castle for this edition in March. Again, hopefully in April, we're able to have a live studio audience on a limited basis. In the meantime, if there's any questions, any concerns, any more questions that went unanswered due to this program, by all means, feel free to stop me, stop any of the directors that you saw today in the hallway. We're always here for you. With that, I'm going to sign off. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the month of March, and I'm excited for some spring baseball. All right, with that, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.